So I have a perspective for you today. You know how they say all disease starts in the gut? Here's how that might turn out, so to speak. Let's say you're eating something day after day that your body doesn't really care for. Over time, you develop a leaky gut because of inflammation and things of that nature that are caused by the horrible things that you're eating. Then once you have a leaky gut, and by leaky gut I mean there's tight junctions in the small intestine that are supposed to not let anything through except really, really small amino acids and minerals and things of that nature that we want in our bloodstream. When the gut gets inflamed, that tight junction starts to look more like this, so big proteins can now pass through. When we have a leaky gut, let's say you continue to eat those inflammatory foods like dairy, maybe gluten, maybe nightshade vegetables, sugar, things like that. Whatever might be impacting you, because it's different for everyone. And over time, those things create more inflammation in the body. Now, here's the thing. If you're sensitive to something and you keep eating it on a regular basis, even if that regular basis is only, say, once a week, patients will come into me and say, but I only have gluten maybe once a week tops. I reply back to them, well, how would you feel if someone broke into your house once a week? Yeah, I wouldn't really like that too much. But it's only once a week. It's just once a week. And what if they don't even take anything? What if the robber doesn't even take anything? They just walk around in your house, maybe just leave a couple footprints, move a few things around. Would that be okay? And you're probably like, no, that's really still not okay. That's a violation of my privacy. I don't want anyone in my house that isn't welcome there, right? Same thing goes for your body. Anything that your body doesn't care for is inflammatory and it's impacting you in a negative way. Even if you have it once a week, that is an intruder in our body. So then here's what happens. Let's use the robber in your house as a metaphor again. So you don't want anybody else coming into your house other than you. So you set a couple booby traps. You put an alarm system on your house. Someone breaks in again. So you put another alarm system on your house. This time you get the top of the line, and they still break in. Then you start going all Home Alone style. You start putting all the booby traps out, the feathers, the everything, the whole mess. You go all the whole 9 yards. Someone still breaks in. Then your house is now covered head to toe in these booby traps. What eventually starts to happen? You yourself starts to trip over all of these now security measures that your body and now your house that you have put in place. That's where autoimmune disease, that's where cancer, that's where all these chronic illnesses come from. It's from chronic long-term inflammation that has been left unchecked. And you're now tripping over your own stuff that you put up as an initial protective measure, but now it's hurting you at the same time. Food for thought. Keep this in mind when you're trying to eat certain things or trying to avoid certain foods that might not be in your best interest. Even if you're only doing it once or twice a week, way too much. Most of the time when we're trying to heal the gut, it takes months, sometimes years, depending on how severe your situation is, to get rid of that leaky gut, to heal it from the bottom out before you can go ahead and eat those things again. Personal story, I used to have eczema really badly, like all over my arms, and it would ebb and flow, and eventually I was taught by a colleague of mine, he was my mentor at the time, that I couldn't eat wheat and dairy. They were both inflammatory for me, and I was like, well, you're kind of full of it. Fine, I'll give it up for 2 weeks and see what happens. Well, in those 2 weeks, my skin cleared up pretty well. But once again, eczema ebbs and flows. How was I supposed to know if that was the one thing that did it? I was also drinking more water. I was also doing a whole lot of other good things. Well, that night, I decided to indulge in a whole pile of mastacholi. It was amazing. Cheese was one of my favorite foods at the time. Within an hour, I started getting inflamed and itchy all over again. I said, okay, there's definitely something to this. So what I ended up doing is I literally ended up giving up those foods for probably over a year. And I've never had an eczema outbreak again. Literally, it's been over a decade. And I have those things every so often now. Definitely not even to the degree of once a week. And I had to eliminate it for quite some time and probably did a couple other things. I often recommend certain supplements, to certain powders, certain vitamins and herbs and things of that nature to help aid in healing your gut. Once your gut's healed, you can have those things occasionally. Not once a week. You can have those things occasionally, have it not impact you in such a huge negative way. But that's the process you have to start with. So, PSA of the day, Don't get caught in your own security measures in your house. Let go of the inflammation. Start healing your leaky gut so that you don't have those chronic illnesses plague you, whether now or in 10 years from now. Have a good day, guys.